Anything final, Mr. Hunter?
No further comment.
All right, it's in this court's discretion with regard to any outburst in the courtroom, taking into consideration as well as the defendant's motion for a mistrial. So I cited a couple cases. Let's see, Forney, I think it's Forney versus State, 255 Georgia 316, which actually recognizes that emotions are neither unreasonable nor unexpected during a murder trial. And the demonstrations and outbursts which occur during the course of the trial are matters within the court's discretion to evaluate. The court heard exactly what I described on the record, decided to remove the jury briefly, and it was ready to get started. Based on that outburst, the court is not granting a mistrial. As to the totality of the circumstances argument, which I think is the second argument that was presented by Mr. Goff, that gets back to what I'm starting to watch very carefully as far as what's going on in this courtroom with the jury, as well as the arguments that are being made by counsel. I'll point out that a number of times during jury selection, it was raised that jurors were being influenced by individuals outside the court, and I think it was either 4 or 5 jurors were asked specifically whether or not they were influenced in some way by what was going on outside the courtroom. And they were not. There was no, actually, if I remember correctly, they didn't even recognize or see what was going on outside the courtroom. And as counsel are aware, because I have briefed counsel, there are steps being taken by the court during the jury trial to ensure that jurors are not influenced by anything happening around the courthouse. So then we start getting into what we have now with individual members or individuals coming into the courtroom. I will say that is directly in response, Mr. Goff, to statements you made, which I find reprehensible. The Colonel Sanders statement you made last week, I would suggest may be something that has influenced what is going on here. In response to that, and to his credit, Mr. Sheffield made some comments, but did say, you know, come one, come all. And so now the court is faced with balancing a lot of things going on outside this courtroom and doing it in a way that respects members of the public's right to be in the courtroom, as well as what I'm trying to put out there is a fair trial, right? So you need to understand, everybody, that your words in this courtroom have an impact on a lot of what's going on. And so my measured response at this point is to balance all of that out and try to move forward with the trial. I'm not granting a mistrial at this point based on these arguments that are being made, because I think, well, I'm not granting a mistrial at this point based on the arguments that have been made. Are we ready with the witness?